Terrible. Very sick. I got my nose still a problem, my eyes, because he beat me up in my eye, my nose. My head is still traumatized, you know. It's a nightmare for me. I can hardly do anything for myself.
This story comes to us from WPBF.com for West Palm Beach, Florida. The man who was punched several times by a West Palm Beach, Florida officer during an arrest is now taking civil action. He's going to sue him. Lawyers for John Maroke filed 2 lawsuits claiming the officer used excessive force and that Monroke was defamed by the police union afterward. Monroke and his legal team said in the 4 years since the incident, they haven't received an apology or any compensation, and now they're hoping these lawsuits will help them get the justice they believe he deserves, along with a little fund, you know.
It's a nightmare for me, but I'm trying to cope with it. I have to. I need the system to be right. The system is too crooked.
Fan Lee, who's the attorney representing Monroke, said this case really epitomizes problems in the criminal legal system. No kidding. Now, he works at Fort Lauderdale-based law firm Kelly Ustall. Lawyers representing Monroke announced 2 lawsuits in the case of their client's beating by a West Palm Beach, Florida officer in November of 2019. Surveillance cameras captured video of that incident. It shows West Palm Beach police officer Nicholas Lordy, and his partner attempting to arrest Monroke for trespassing after a warning at a grocery store. Fan Lee, the attorney, said the 2 police officers wrestled this man, who was 62 years old at the time, to the ground. And once he's on the ground, Nicholas Lordy starts to punch John from the left side repeatedly in the face and in his head.
Warning: some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
They filed 2 suits for an incident that allegedly left Monroke looking like this 4 years ago, and it was all caught on tape. In one lawsuit, they're going after Nicholas Lordy, a West Palm Beach police officer accused of beating Monroke in 2019. Another officer, James Lou Charles, is also mentioned in the suit for failing to intervene.
Lordy was charged with aggravated battery in February of 2022, but the charges were later dropped because he's a cop, you know. No charging law enforcement for, rough arrests. Sean Paris, another attorney with the Kelly Ustall firm representing Monroke, said the state attorney's office made the decision inexplicably to not proceed with the case. We disagree with that. We thought that that was the wrong decision. We can't change that decision. All we can do is get justice through another avenue, which is why we're here today, why they're filing the 2 lawsuits. The president of the Fraternal Order of Police of West Palm Beach released a statement defending Lordy, and in it he referred to Monroke as a violent felon. Monroke's lawyers said the union defamed him with that statement and believed Lordy used excessive force during the November arrest. Now, Fan Lee said calling somebody a felon when he's not one, when you know he is not one, and every police officer in this state has access to the database that will show that he is not. When you do that under state law, that is indisputable defamation, which is why we filed a defamation claim on behalf of John against the police union.
The 2 police officers wrestles this man, who is 62 years old at the time, to the ground. And once he's on the ground, Nicholas Lordy starts to punch John from the left side, repeatedly, in the face, in his head. But that's not it. After John gets knocked out unconscious, Nicholas Lordy stands up, straddles John, and starts to throw haymakers down at his face, at his head, again, repeatedly.
There's a second lawsuit filed separately in state court. That one goes after Adam Myers with the West Palm Beach Police Union and the union itself for alleged defamation.
Adam Myers and the police union called John a violent felon.
3 years after this attack was caught on surveillance, Monroe is still focused on getting justice for what happened.
Now, the defamation suit was filed in state court, while the excessive force claims were filed in a civil rights lawsuit in federal court. Monroe said the effects of that day 4 years ago still linger with him now. Monroe's sister, Imoya Monroe, spoke about the long-term effects of the beating that it has had on her brother and her family. She said his health has been drastically declining, with multiple surgeries to his neck, his ears, his eyes, and now, as he told you, he's going blind. So it's a big toll on him and the family to care for him. Nicholas Lordy's use of excessive force without justification is unacceptable, she said. But I hope this guy gets paid, because here's another one where a cop just got upset, lost his temper. He was charged, and then the charges were dropped. Why? I mean, beat this guy. This guy's going blind now because of an angry cop.